Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they work in your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
Yo, what is the word, everybody? This is Mike Hughes, and you're listening to the All Sports, All Plays Network, Skytown, everything Chicago Sky-related podcast and TV platform. If you're watching this, either it be on the podcast, on YouTube, whatever it may be on, thank you guys for listening. Please give a shout-out to the All Sports, All Plays Network and give them a subscribe really quick on all social media accounts if you haven't already. If you think this show is good, they have tons of better shows than my own. So definitely give that a shout out if you can. I would greatly appreciate it. There are amazing shows 24/7 throughout the day, morning shows, night shows, late night shows after dark, hosted by the young and beautiful and the amazing beard Tony. Does amazing work. So definitely check that out when you get a shot. But we have a lot to cover today. One, we obviously do the free Brittany Griner intro before every episode, and she's currently going into trial on potentially 10 years of jail time. So we got a lot of news about that. Her imprisonment, I guess you can call it, or her, quote unquote, needing to be there for now, is extended another 6 months. I'm assuming that's as long as the trial is probably going to take, unless she's proven innocent early. Probably won't. It's very unfortunate. So prayers for BG and her family and everybody affected by that. But to get into it, we have a lot of news today. First of all, I want to give a huge congratulations to our all-star starter, Candace Parker. Big shout out for Candace really quick, a 2022 WNBA All-Star starter. And then today, the reserves list came out, and you could find us talking about that a lot more tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central, I believe 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be talking that on Beyond the Rim. Megan Price, Alana Trapp, and myself will be discussing the All-Star game through and throughout all of the starters, James Wade and other coaches who have been elected. We're going to be getting into everything. Now, the reserves came out today. We're not going to get too deep into it because obviously we're going to be talking about it tomorrow night, talking about everything WNBA. But let's give a quick shout out to our all reserves, all-star WNBA reserves. We have the 2022 list. We're Kalia Copper, Emma Mieseman, and Courtney Vandersloot. Sloot definitely deserves it after the last couple of games. I mean, she is just killing it. We talked to Allie Quigley the other day about that, and just how she's been so effective, and it's really helped Allie get out of her slump. But with that being said, let's get right into it. First of all, another congratulations before we get into anything. Candace Parker on being the most triple doubles in WNBA history now belongs to her after her game against her former team, the LA Sparks. 6-10 currently on the season. The Chicago Sky are 13-5 now. We're covering 2 games we missed today. We will be at the arena tomorrow at 11 p.m. or 11 a.m. Central. Definitely be there. We're gonna have an amazing time. We're gonna interview some players after, and hopefully James Wade. So we're gonna get back in the arena. I apologize. I haven't been there as of recent. I had a small operation. It's not really an operation. It was more of just like a medical thing. I just got checked up on. I guess you could say, to not bore you guys, but I'm back. I'm better than ever, fully healthy. Everything's perfectly fine. So bear with me. We're back at the Wintrust Arena tomorrow night. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait for it. But with that being said, the Chicago Sky win this game 82-59. Candace Parker with a triple double, 10 points, 10 assists, and 14 rebounds, only in 26 minutes. Candace Parker, everybody's talking all this mess about, she needs nights off. This and that. It's just a casual. It's a casual talking to you right now. When she wants to hoop, she can hoop. And losing the season opener to the LA Sparks, I know it bothered her deep down. I know it did, because it would bother anybody. You lose to your former team on the banner ceremony night. It pisses you off. It would piss me off. But it definitely is something right now. You have to lock in, and she's locking in at the perfect time. We got All-Star break on July 8th to July 12th, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be great. To get back into the rest of this game, Emma Mieseman 11-4-4 and 18. Ka had 8-1-7 and 22. Allie had 7-2-3 and 21. Sloot had 15-1-3 and 16 minutes only. 15 points in 16 minutes. I mean, Court's just been on a different role right now, and I love it. I'm here for every minute of it. Julie had 0, 6, and 3 and 24, and even though she hasn't really been in offensive production lately, she just got 100 defensive rebounds with the Chicago Sky, and she's only been here for a few weeks. So I mean, she's on a tear on her own regard. She's great defensive presence. She's really doing her thing. Stevens had 15, 0, and 3 and 25. We've talked to her recently about her effectiveness. Rebecca Gardner, 10, 0, and 7 and 23. And like I said, we've talked to both of them at the same time about how they've just been able to ignite a spark within that bench and just really starting something special. Dana Evans had 2, 2, and 0 and 10. Lee had 4, 0, and 5 and 10. And Ruthie had 0, 0, and 0 in 4 minutes. But all in all, it was a great game. Liz Cambage, obviously a walking bucket, but she was held to 6, 0, and 5 and 16. Samuelson had 8, 0, and 5 and 25. We have Akungmike. I always butcher her name. I apologize. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to Nika had 15, 3 and 4 and 29. I can never say her last name. I've just never heard it said. That's my big problem. Skies had 13, 3 and 5 and 34. Tolliver had 3, 6 and 3 and 26. Nelson Ododa had 4, 0 and 6 and 19. Brown had 2, 1 and 2 and 25. Canada had 4, 4 and 2 and 14. And Walker had 4, 1 and 2 and 12. This is a lot of numbers. I apologize for throwing those numbers at you. I apologize if that was super boring. But we got to do it. We got to talk about it. Now, the Chicago Sky as a whole, to have several players in double figures is exactly what you want. You have Emma, Candace, obviously Courtney, and then you would think it's Ka and Quigley, but in reality, it's Rebecca Gardner and Azare. So that's the beauty of this team right now, is if it's so top heavy, if all of our starting five are in double figures, that's great. But if our bench is giving us 0 points, like against the Las Vegas Aces, our first matchup with them this season, their bench had 0 points. Their bench didn't do a lick of anything. Now, they beat us, don't get it twisted, but that's why we beat them the second time around. You know what I mean? Like, that's the conversation everybody needs to have right now, is, are we good top to bottom? And Dana Evans, who only had 2 points, is still one of the best scorers on this team. That's the biggest thing to me. Like, Dana Evans is a walking bucket. Don't get it twisted. Like, she's going through whatever she's going through right now. But obviously it's early in the season, so who really cares, first of all? And she's going to be fine. After All-Star break, it's going to be a good time to relax, a good time to get settled. And she's going to be perfectly fine. But overall, throughout that game, you really just look at it from top to bottom, that they're really putting in the work right now. Now, the other night's game on Sunday night against the Minnesota Lynx, it was too close for comfort, but SLOOOOOOT called game-winning 3, 88-85 against the 5-14 Minnesota Lynx. The Chicago Sky move on to 13-5. Amazing start to the season. We're going to start off with the Minnesota Lynx. Fowles had 12, 3 and 6 and 24. Powers had 9, 7 and 2 and 34. Dantas had 0, 1 and 1 and 10. McBride had 15, 1 and 2 and 31. Jefferson had 11, 4 and 2 and 25. Shepard 15, 2 and 8 and 26. Banham had 5, 3 and 2 and 13. Akonwa had 10, 0 and 3 and 16. Carlton had 8, 2 and 1 and 17. And Malik had 0, 0 and 1 and 3. It doesn't really pop out at you, but it was just a great game overall. Now, this guy played small ball. Ka was out with back issues. And it was just one of those games where we really didn't have as many people as we would have liked. It's definitely one of those instances that it's going to happen. Ka's back right now. I would say it's fine. It's not something to be too worried about. Obviously, it's just a little bit of a nagging injury, and we'll definitely speak with her about it, hopefully soon. But Candace Parker, 13, 2 and 8 and 31. Rebecca Gardner had 12, 2 and 6 and 30. Emma Mieseman, 15, 3 and 4 and 31. Quiggs had 11, 7 and 0 and 30. Julie had 11, 4 and 2 and 20. Love to see that from Julie. Even though she's a defensive presence, she could score when she wants to. Azare had 5, 0 and 2 and 21. Dana had 3, 0 and 0 and 8. And the GOAT, the greatest Sky of all time. But no. Like, I know Allie and Court are fighting for it. But personally, myself, don't tell Allie I said this, but I'm a court person first. Courtney Vandersloot, 18, 6 and 5 in 29 with the game-winning 3. I mean, it was just great. It was great all around to see that from them. That performance, them not losing a game to, respectfully, a horrible team. That's not a game you should lose. It's not. And that's happened to us earlier in the year. I mean, I'm gonna go back. I forget exactly. I think it was Indiana. I think we lost to Indiana very recently. Um, and that pissed me off. The Indiana Fever. I know they beat us. The Indiana, no, maybe they didn't. Someone kicked our ass, and it definitely pissed me off. But it's just one of those games where you need to win it. You need to win these games because when you're playing against a team like that, it's an easy dub, and it matters in the standings. It's gonna matter in the standings, and that's why you have to take every game seriously because even though it doesn't rule you out of contention, and it's not going to be the piece of the season where everything went right or everything went wrong. It's definitely a part of it. You know what I mean? Like right now we're first in the Eastern Conference. The standings right now, the Sky are 13-5, the Sun are 13-6, and the Mystics are 12-9. And then the Liberty is then fourth at 8-10. But right there, those top three, it's going to come down to the wire without question. And that's where the Sky need to really hit their stride and just be there. They need to be there because in order for them to win the East, everything's going to have to go right. And that's not me saying that we're not a good team. I'm saying there are real competitors here. Washington is legit. Connecticut is legit, and we need to treat them as such. And that's where, winning these games against bottom feeder teams, it had Indiana, Minnesota, whatever it may be, it's a conversation where you have to do it. LA is another one. We lost in the beginning of the season to LA, and now we stomped them. That makes that pisses me off. Now I understand Allie wasn't there. I understand Emma had just been brought in. Rebecca had just been brought in. A lot of people weren't 110%. Allie was out, if I didn't say that already. But it's definitely something to acknowledge. It's like you still should have won that game no matter what. Like that's straight up, and that's real. They are performing at a level right now where they are the best individuals on and off the court. They put in the most work. I've watched them. They've put in the most work on and off the court. It is insane to me to see these women's work ethic, and they hold themselves accountable to it. James Wade doesn't have to lift a finger. James Wade tells them to do something, and they do it, and vice versa. Candace tells you, hey, you should do this instead of this. They make adjustments. Anybody, whoever it is, they're making adjustments, and they're listening to each other, and that's what makes a great fundamental basketball team. I mean, it's just been beautiful to watch, and I love every single minute of it. But with that being said, we're going to be at the game tomorrow. It's going to be a great game. I can't wait for it. Obviously, we haven't had an interview in a couple days, and I do apologize. Like I said, I had a couple medical things that were going on. I just had to get a little checked out, make sure everything was good. And we're full throttle. We're full throttle. I had the Big Three event as well. I was with Ice Cube, kicking it with Cube, Michael Blackson, and a bunch of other individuals. And also super dope, Lisa Leslie is a head coach. I forget what the name of the team was, but for Ice Cube's Big Three League, which was super dope. She coaches Ryan Hollins, which to me, it was like, it was the dopest experience ever. Not to get off topic, but I thought you guys would want to hear it. It was the dopest experience ever because at first I saw Mario Chalmers, and I was like, holy crap, that's Mario Chalmers. And then I see Lisa Leslie walk in, and everybody, if you're watching this, you know who Lisa Leslie is. She's the first woman in the WNBA to dunk a basketball, and do it consistently. Like she's that good. 8-time All-Star. Like she's a bucket. She's a bucket. Forever cemented in history. But regardless, I'm watching her coach this guy, and she's chewing him out. Like she is riding this guy, and I'm like, damn, like who's she talking to? And I look up, and it's Ryan Hollins from ESPN and First Take. And I'm like, damn, like what did she say to Ryan? And then I see Ryan jump out of the gym. This guy posters this guy, and he did it a couple times. I'm like, I haven't seen Ryan Hollins dunk like this in forever. And it was just the dopest event. So thank you to the Big Three. Thank you to Freddie J, the ASAP Network, everybody allowing me to have that opportunity to cover them. We're definitely going to cover more Big Three as the week goes on. But with that being said, and Twista performed. So shout out Twista. But yeah, it's definitely a dope event. If you haven't been there already, you definitely should. I definitely think you guys should. It's a super dope event. But with that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow covering the game. It's at 11 p.m. Central. You can find your tickets at wintrust.com or chicagoskytickets.com. Definitely check those out if you want cheaper tickets. You didn't hear from me, but you can go on StubHub or SeatGeek or anything like that. That's where I get my tickets from personally. We are not sponsored by them, but hey, I'm just keeping it real. But with that being said, thank you guys for listening. This is Mike Hughes from Mike on the Mic, and Go Sky, baby. We're out of here.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.